Hey!
Hey, hi.
Welcome to the Natasha and Debbie show.
Hello.
That's brutal. Just two patriotic girls, so please don't take us the wrong way.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to the Natasha and Debbie show. We are so glad that you're here with us today.
We are always glad when you're here. Thank
We
you for
are.
being here. Let's give you a round of applause for being here.
Yay.
That was oddly in time.
It was.
Anyway, again, we're excited about today's episode. It's something that we had this video in our watch later list for months.
Forever.
Months.
For a long time.
Yeah, and I don't know what's kept us from doing it.
Just wasn't time.
That would be correct.
Now it's time.
That's a good answer. So what we're getting ready to dive into this. Before we do that, if you guys want to like the video, please do so. And if you want to subscribe to our channel, feel free, but consider it. Don't just do it because we ask you to.
That's right. Check out some of our other content. Make sure you want to be part of our family before you subscribe.
It's a weird family. Biological conservation. Absolutely one of the most important things in our world right now.
Very essential.
We're not trying to get political here. You guys know that. We back off. Now, I'm not saying that this isn't a political topic because, unfortunately, we live in a world these days where everything can be a political topic.
Pretty much everything.
But that's not the spin we're here for. So we've gone through rewilding in America. One thing we're very proud of is what happened in Yellowstone in the mid-90s.
Mm-hmm.
In just a 2-year time period, we took 41 wolves because they had been pretty much gone for about 70 years.
Yeah.
And now today we have over 500. And it was a very successful project. If you guys want more information on that, I know there's got to be YouTube videos on it. Give it a shot.
I'm sure there is.
So that's like, really something really cool. But it was just neat what all happened with that. Again, please go find a video to watch on that topic.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know about Britain and the rewilding situation. So that's why we wanted to do this video. And we don't know what animals you had that you don't have anymore. What introductions you're,
That they're trying to make.
Correct.
We know that you have done some rewilding already.
Yeah, because this video we're about to watch is 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had that in the watch later list that long, but almost. But this video is 2 years old. So please let us know what animals have already been reintroduced and how that's going.
Mm-hmm.
But this will be our first introduction, actually, to the reintroduction on the animals, Top Animals Tree Wild Britain. And that's what this video is, reintroductions. So let's dive into the video and learn about it.
Hunted and persecuted to the point of local extinction or pushed into tiny pockets of sustainable habitat, a number of species now find themselves the focus of ambitious programs to reintroduce them to the land and skies where they once thrived. In this biodiversity emergency we find ourselves, conservationists argue that sustaining the wildlife that has survived is no longer enough. It's time to take action to support nature's recovery. Welcome to Animal Educate. My name's Abby, and today we're going to be looking at rewilding and reintroducing certain species back into the environment.
Just really quickly, we used this channel once before on learning about the British birds. If you haven't checked that out, it may sound boring to you. It's not. I promise you, it's awesome.
It's
I'm a bird nerd. It was great, but she was great. Please go back and check that out. It's been a while back, but give it a shot.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
At rewilding and reintroducing certain species back into the environment. Over the centuries, Britain has lost many keystone species.
Like beavers?
These animals have a role as ecosystem engineers. They're essential to a natural environment.
Yeah.
Top predators such as the lynx and the wolf drive ecological processes.
Wait, you guys had the lynx?
I didn't know that.
No, and see, that's the thing. We don't really know much about the animals.
Yeah.
I know what you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Bursts to most degrees here, but I didn't know you had the lynx.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
It's pretty awesome.
Literally 1 minute into this video and just learned something that is actually really interesting to know.
Absolutely.
Huh.
Top predators such as the lynx and the wolf drive ecological processes from the top of the food chain to the bottom. This is known as a trophic cascade.
Yes.
When you throw a top predator into the mix, you'll find the prey animals start to act very differently. This is otherwise known as the landscape of fear. Let's look at deer as an example. So if you place wolves back into an environment where there's deer present, you'll find their behaviour will change significantly. They'll start moving around. They won't want to stay in one location for too long. They'll start avoiding places. The predator keeps them moving, meaning they'll graze less. This means that the foraging will take place in a wider area. Overgrazing is one of Britain's biggest problems when it comes to the environment.
Okay.
So a trophic cascade is the interaction between the predator and the prey animals. It's all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just going in there.
Sorry, go ahead. Well, beautiful
I
shot.
was just gonna.
Look how pretty that is, though.
Gorgeous.
Woo, where is that in Britain? Anybody have any idea? That is
pretty amazing.
stunning. Sorry. Go ahead. I apologize.
No, I was just gonna. I don't know what the top predators are over there, so I was.
I don't know that you have any now, do you?
Yeah.
That's my question to you.
Yeah.
and-
So let us know in the comments.
Yeah, please do. And then I had another quick question, but I forgot what it was. So maybe it'll pop back up at some point. No, don't be sorry. I just think I'm happy we paused that
Oh,
there.
it's
That's stunning.
Is the interaction between the predator and the prey animals. It's all about how the relationship alters ecosystems.
Absolutely.
It shows that living systems can't function properly without those larger animals.
Bison.
That's why the reintroduction of keystone species is a key element of rewilding.
Yeah.
Except for Ireland, across Britain, we've suffered more deforestation and lost more large mammals than any other European country.
What?
Many places.
Really?
That's interesting to find out that.
Except Ireland, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that, you guys. Okay.
Places where you would expect to see wildlife thriving has been reduced to wet deserts.
Wow. That's a
The
big statement.
seabed has been smashed and stripped of its living creatures. There's something deeply heartening about an extinct native species being reintroduced back into its former habitat.
Absolutely.
There's lots of animals that could potentially be reintroduced. But
Let's just look at that
Yeah.
for a second. The lynx, the wild boar, the wolf, the beaver, the gray whale. I can't really read that. Is that bluefin tuna? Bison. I can't pronounce that looking thingy.
Capercaillie?
I don't know. Common crane, eagle owl. Don't know that one. I can't pronounce that either. And great, what does that say? I thought it said great bastard. It does not. Great bustard. We don't have those specific animals here, so I don't know them, but it's interesting to see them. One thing I just wanted to add real quick, though, was what she said earlier. I remember now I was going to say, when she was talking about, like the deer and the vegetation, that being a problem and stuff. When we introduced the wolves, I was mentioning earlier, in Yellowstone, which is the oldest national park in the world, and I would argue the most beautiful, it's kind of similar to that. The elk were just doing very much the same thing, taking out and, trampling on things, eating things. So a lot of vegetation that was there previously got removed. Bringing the wolves back in to help new vegetation, old vegetation come back and things like that. And
how it affects the whole ecosystem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not to say that there aren't pros and cons. There's definitely cons to that too. Of course there are. But I think as far as our situation is, the pros have outweighed the bad. And again, I don't know your country enough to know and tell you what to do, and I'm not trying to. I just think it's interesting. But yeah, so these animals are interesting. Let's go back, rewind that just a hair, and see. They can't all be gone, right?
Former habitat. There's lots of animals that could potentially be reintroduced.
I guess so.
But let's look at some mammals.
The lynx.
The lynx.
Now you had it.
Beautiful.
The lynx help woodlands regenerate by controlling deer and other invasive species.
Right.
They can also reduce fox numbers.
Oh, wow.
They're shy, elegant animals and they prefer the woodland. They'd have ample tree cover in parts of Scotland and northern England. They live across Europe and have been successfully released into Switzerland.
But if you introduce the lynx and they hurt the foxes, now is that something anybody would want? I don't know what the foxes do to the ecosystem and things like that.
There's too many fox.
That's my question too. Thank you for saying that. Are there? I don't know that there are. I would feel like that would be an animal that we would want to protect.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys, please let us know in the comments because we don't know as far as your country and how that goes and the population of the animals that are there. So that could be an issue as to maybe why people don't want that.
Right.
So that's interesting.
Wild boar.
Wild boar.
Wild boar can increase biodiversity through rooting and wallowing. They're highly effective bracken destroyers, creating space for trees and other plants to grow.
Mm-hmm.
They're already a tourist attraction in England.
Really?
And they're already living unofficially in parts of England and Scotland.
Okay.
The wolf.
Wolf. My guy.
Wolves can turn grassland into forest
Yes.
and create habitats that hundreds of species can use. They keep the deer on the move so that they can't overgraze.
That's your one eye, just a hair. Exactly. She's showing Yellowstone right here.
Yep.
I love that she brought this up. Thank you so much that she brought this up. Look at it before on the left. Look what happened after the fact. I mean, come on, that's insane.
Sure, when the deer are grazing too long in one area, they're going to eat up all the vegetation and it doesn't get a chance to grow and replenish.
That's the positivity I'm referring to. That's what I like to see. That's beautiful. Again, I know there are cons to this too.
Of course.
So sorry to keep pausing so much, but again, there's so much here and so much interesting things that there's a lot to talk about.
Can use. They keep the deer on the move so that they can't overgraze fragile tree seedlings. Wolves live in a huge range of habitats and human population densities. They present a very low risk to people.
Sure.
Wolves have re-established themselves across most countries in Europe. They're a tourist attraction. Despite being shy creatures that avoid people where possible, they suffer from many centuries of demonization and myth-making.
That's true.
The
Bison are
bison.
beautiful.
The bison helps to maintain a mosaic of habitats, a mixture of woodland, scrub and glades that creates a wide variety of niches for other species. The European bison is not native to Britain. The globally extinct bison was here, but the surviving European bison is a suitable surrogate for this extinct species. The bison...
Now, see, I would think that an animal that large would adversely affect the ecosystem. But obviously, each animal has its own purpose.
Little fact for you here. The European bison versus the American bison is a little bit taller, but the American bison weighs more.
Okay.
Bison has been successfully reintroduced in Europe in places such as Poland, Romania and Bulgaria.
Okay. How's that going?
Whales, including the fin whale, the sperm whale, the humpback whale and orca. Whales can help support the entire ecosystem.
Yeah.
They often feed at depth and release the nutrients in the surface waters when they poo. This fertilizes the plant plankton on which most of the other life of the sea depends.
Did not
The
know
great
that.
whales are probably responsible for burying millions of tons of carbon in the deep ocean every year as plant plankton absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. It pulls it down to the abyss when it dies and sinks. Several large whale species have been appearing occasionally off our coasts.
One thing with the whales, how do you reintroduce a whale
Yeah, it's a good question.
when it's such a large ocean? I don't know how you would attract them.
I want to assume too, like, why did they go away? I would assume, like,
I would assume
fishing.
their food source went away, so then they go away.
So I was assuming that maybe fishing them.
Could be that.
I don't know. Let us know. We have so many questions here. They're comments. We really hope we'll blow up with this. And then I just want to ask too, we want your opinions on your thoughts on this because there are, again, like I said, pros and cons. I know when we talk about the lynx, I'm sure there are farmers and things that have, farms and they don't want them.
Yeah.
Like wolves too.
Yeah,
right?
wolves. I mean, people would be worried about wolves and their own pets, I would think.
Well, that's definitely a case. And then also
farmers with the cattle.
Exactly. With their other animals that they have too. So I'm sure that's another big issue there. But just let us know because we don't know. So the wildcat, one of my favorites. There's a long story on that one.
The wildcat. The Scottish wildcat is closely related to, but not the ancestor of, the domestic cat. Not much bigger than a domestic cat, it's fast and strong enough to kill young deer and hares. This species is very elusive and hard to count. The best estimates suggest that there's just a few hundred remaining.
Wow.
It's threatened by gamekeepers. and hybridization with domestic cats.
Oh, really? Okay. Didn't know that.
The moose.
Moose are cool.
This enormous deer is semi-amphibious, able to submerge itself completely, close its nostrils and feed underwater. Submerged vegetation provides a higher proportion of its diet than it does for the hippopotamus.
Really?
Moose could live happily in many parts of Britain, but as with the bison, we would hesitate to consider reintroduction until there had been a widespread recovery of trees and scrub.
Okay. Makes sense. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I do think bison might have already been reintroduced, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like I've read that somewhere in the last year.
Yeah, I think I might have read
maybe
something.
But I don't know what else, if anything else on this list. And if it has, of course, let us know. If it has, though, how's that gone?
Right.
And if anything else on here has as well, let us know, please. But moose are such majestic animals. But I've always been,
so huge.
They're massive. I'd be scared to death if I ran into one.
Had been a widespread recovery of trees and scrub. The study and application of rewilding has become much more prevalent in recent years, with articles in scientific publications being released on the subject. Despite still being in its infancy, there's still many current cases of rewilding, successful cases of rewilding. The development of rewilding may signify a new environmental narrative in which people can readily challenge governments to take actions to change the recovery and wellness in nature. Reintroductions should not happen unless there's widespread public support and consent.
Agreed.
The final decision should be taken with local communities and landowners.
Yes.
We need nature, and we desperately need nature in Britain to recover. Thanks for watching today, guys.
That's
I really
all.
hope
Wow.
you've enjoyed learning about rewilding and reintroducing certain...
I hate how short that was.
Yeah.
I knew it was a short video going in, but these things always go faster than we even
They sure do.
feel like it. I want more information.
Exactly. We always do want more information.
Yeah.
So if you have any, please leave us a comment with any information that you might have.
Yeah, again, all the questions that we had throughout the video, I hope that you didn't fast forward when we paused, because most of those, every pause I think was for a question. So please, we'd love to hear your answers. Of course, we rely on you guys. Honestly, a lot of times when we do videos, we get more information from you in the comments. And I will say, we just did the video on European football. And you guys really put in perspective for me in the comments. I learned a lot more on one specific thing.
Yes.
From that video in the comments. You don't even know what it is, do you? Because we haven't talked about it.
I have an idea what it is.
What do you think it was?
Relegation.
Exactly. Okay, she's paying attention. I didn't know that we talked about it, but relegation. I see it now. I understand now why. Because I had said in that video, I didn't like relegation. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's silly. No, I get it. I get it.
Yep.
I get it. I'm not saying I want it in America, but I'm saying I understand it now because of the fact that that does give you more, desire to see your teams do better, and they will do better for that.
It does, but it was only through the comments that,
the perspective.
we got to see the perspective a little bit differently.
The way you guys put that in the comments, your perspective on that changed my opinion on it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm asking for in this video too. Not change my opinion. I have opinion here. My opinion is that I believe animals are incredibly important. They're great for the environment, as you saw the picture from Yellowstone before and after.
Definitely.
Not a side by side of the exact location, but you get the idea. But either way, I would just like to know, what animals have been reintroduced. How's it gone? What are your thoughts on it? What are the cons over there and the pros over there? I mean, we kind of already know the pros. What animals would you like to see reintroduced?
Is there something that was mentioned or not mentioned in the video that you would want to see introduced that, like I said, was not mentioned?
Exactly what I was going to ask next. Good thought there. Yeah, I want to know that too. But I didn't know that a lot of those animals you didn't have.
Right. I thought it was crazy that little cat thing at the end.
The cat thing?
Yeah.
The wildcat?
The wildcat, that could take down a deer.
Yeah.
That little cat.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it? I love wildcats.
I'd be scared to death to go over there and pet any random cat unless it was inside someone's house. Because they'd be like, is that one of those cats that I'm not supposed to touch?
I see Debbie outside. We're over there on our vacation, right? Our retirement plan. And Debbie's like, oh, look, Natasha, I got a cat. And I'm like, that's a wild cat. Put it down. R.I.P. Debbie. It's nice knowing you. Anyway, guys, I really enjoyed this video because it taught us some things. But again, we were relying on you in the comments to help us learn more about it. It was a short video. It was a sweet one.
Yes.
But it was enough to give us some ideas. So please drop us a comment, as we said. And please, 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 please check the comments first, because we had so many questions in this. We don't want to just get an answer to one of them.
Yes.
And let us know your thoughts on rewilding. Are you for it? Are you against it? There's a lot here. But thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you. And as always, guys, love like jazz.
Be as strong as Tyson.
See you next time.
Bye.